Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about tempo and how to use that in your workouts. So first of all, what is tempo? Well, tempo basically is the speed at which we're doing a movement. And it's broken down into four main parts. So there's the lowering phase of a movement, there's the pause at the bottom, there's the lifting or the ascent phase, and then there's a pause at the top. And you'll often see it written exactly like this. So you're going to have four numbers. The first one indicates the lowering phase. The second number in the chain indicates the amount of time spent in the pause at the bottom. And then the third number is the speed at which you come up. And then the fourth number is the time that you spend at the top of the movement. So in this example here, let's just say we're doing a goblet squat. We're going to take 3 seconds to come down. We're going to pause at the bottom for no seconds. We're going to take 1 second to come up, and then have no pause at the top either. Another example might look like this. So let's just say we're doing a goblet squat once again. This time we're going to take 4 seconds to come down. We're going to pause at the bottom for 4 seconds. We're going to take 4 seconds to come up, and then we're going to pause for 4 seconds again before we start our next rep. So anytime you just see any zeros in that little chain of four numbers, that just means that there is no pause at either the bottom or the top, or there's no extra time that's taken. Why do we even use tempo? Well, firstly, tempo helps us determine how to do a specific exercise rather than just go through the motions of it. It's going to tell us exactly how to do that in a specific way to get a specific result. It helps us break through plateaus by increasing the time under tension, therefore building more strength and potentially more muscle. It allows us to actually slow things down and learn the right ways of doing a movement, which in turn, this significantly reduces the chance of injury from trying to rush the movement. And it can be a really simple way of progressing a movement. So as you get stronger and you get more confident with the movement, you can slow the time that you're moving down so that you're actually doing the movement a little bit faster. So how do we actually use tempo? Well, when we're performing a movement, all we want to do is count the number of seconds that it takes to do each phase. So as we said with our example, if we're doing a goblet squat and it's a 3, 0, 1, 0, we're going to take 3 seconds on the way down. So we would just count for 1, 2, 3, we'd pause in the bottom for no seconds, and we take 1 second to come up, no pause, and we go straight into our next rep. So it involves just counting either in your head or aloud the speed at which you're spending in each phase of the movement. Stick to the numbers as closely as possible because they're usually there for a reason. And you may need to adjust the weight for a given tempo. So for example, if there is a movement where you're going to be moving quite slowly, the numbers are quite high, you might need to use a lighter weight to be able to do that effectively. If the numbers are quite low, that indicates that there's a shorter amount of time spent in each phase, therefore you might be able to use a higher weight. And so what sort of results should we see from using tempo? First of all, we're going to see increased movement control, and this is probably the biggest one. So it's something that's really helpful if we're trying to maximize the efficiency of our workout and we're trying to get the most from an exercise that we can. It's also going to help us increase our mind-muscle connection. So slowing things down is going to allow us to figure out which muscles are doing the work and whether that's supposed to be the muscles that are doing the work. So for example, if we are doing something like an RDL and we tend to rush the movement and we're moving through it too quickly, we can quite often feel that in our lower back. If we therefore slow things down, 9 times out of 10, we start to feel our hamstrings come into play, our glutes come into play, which is exactly what we would want to try and do. And it can be also really helpful for overcoming sticking points. When you're relatively new to strength training, this isn't such a big deal, but as you become more advanced and you've been doing it for a lot longer, certain movements, what you'll find is there is a sticking point. So this is where you are at your weakest in a specific movement. For a lot of people, squats at the bottom of the squat is a relatively weak position. So therefore, if we're adjusting the tempo and we're spending more time under load in that bottom position, we're going to build more strength, and therefore the whole movement starts to get better. We get stronger in that movement overall. So there we have it, guys. That is a quick overview of what Tempo is, why we even use it, and how to actually put it into your program and how to actually understand it and use it for yourself. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did like this video, make sure you like it and subscribe to the channel so that you stay up to date with content just like this. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.